Every dieter's dream. Eating the foods that you love and losing weight at the same time. But is it actually possible? Let's talk about that. How's it going, guys? My name's Richie Kirwan, and today we're going to talk about how making sure you eat some of your favorite foods is probably a good idea if you're trying to lose weight, even if they're foods people don't think go hand in hand with weight loss. I just want to point out that I'm not recommending any particular diet. What I am going to do is explain why including certain foods can have benefits for people trying to stick to a weight loss diet. Let's get started. Ice cream, pizza, chocolate. They're some of the most delicious foods known to humankind, but none of them are things people would expect to see regularly on a diet, right? Probably because they contain the two most scary ingredients of the modern dieter: fat and sugar. In many people's minds, fat and sugar don't lead to a lean physique, right? If you want to lose weight, you shouldn't even let things like ice cream touch your lips, and you should only be eating whole, clean foods, whatever the that means, right? You see, this is a pretty big problem in nutrition. People feel the only way they can lose weight is by being super strict and sticking to what they consider to be diet foods. This often makes people feel super restricted, and they eventually end up giving in to cravings and eating huge amounts of the foods they couldn't have before, and then feeling pretty crappy about themselves after. But is there a better way? Let's look at this the only way that makes sense, through science. To make things easier to understand, let's imagine a situation where a pair of identical twins are both trying to lose weight. Now, let's imagine that to maintain body weight, both of these guys need to eat 2,500 calories a day, which conveniently enough is the recommended daily calories for the average adult man. Also, let's give these guys some names because it doesn't seem right to call them the twins. Let's call them Bobby 1 and Bobby 2. Now, if you've watched a few of my videos, you'll know that for someone to lose weight, at the very least, they need a calorie deficit. And if that's news to you, check out my video on calorie deficits. Now, let's get to the ice cream. We decide that we're going to put both of the Bobbies into a calorie deficit of 200 calories below their maintenance calories per day. 2,500 minus 200 works out at 2,300 calories per day for the Bobbies, which will lead to some nice, steady, manageable weight loss, which is, by the way, how it should be done, folks. But we're going to get a little weird. Imagine we put Bobby number 1 on the ice cream diet, which he followed diligently because Bobby number 1 loves ice cream. Basically, Bobby eats all of his calories as ice cream, which works out at about 2 pint tubs of ice cream per day. Bobby number 2, on the other hand, followed a very similar but also very different diet. We forced him to eat nothing but bananas and avocados because they're considered super healthy, clean foods that people associate with a healthy diet. So that works out at about 5 avocados and a little over 8 bananas a day. Now, you're probably wondering, how is this apparently healthy, whole food, plant-based diet of avocados and bananas similar to a clearly unhealthy diet of incredibly fattening ice cream? From outward appearances and in terms of food choices, the two Bobbies' diets look completely different. But in terms of macronutrients, they are surprisingly similar. And we can see this if we look at the macronutrient breakdown of both diets right here. As you can see, the calorie and macronutrient content of the diets are pretty damn similar. Not identical, but enough to explain this. Now, if we observe the two Bobbies over the course of, say, 2 weeks, who do you think would lose more weight? If you said Bobby number 2, following the banavocado diet, you're wrong. And if you said Bobby number 1, you're also wrong. You see, the truth is, on identical calories and macros, over that amount of time, the amount of weight lost will be pretty damn similar. Now, there are some definite differences, but we definitely won't have time to talk about all of them in this video. But let's get back to the Bobbies. Now, a lot of people will think that what I've just said is madness because most people think ice cream is something that should be seriously limited or eliminated from our diets, whereas avocados and bananas are healthy, clean foods that should be included. In reality, we have plenty of good evidence that shows time and time again that diets that are matched for calories or macronutrients end up with similar levels of weight loss, regardless of the specific foods consumed. So, should we all follow the ice cream diet? Absolutely not. In fact, you shouldn't follow either of the two diets I've just described because neither is well balanced and you'd end up suffering from some form of nutrient deficiency sooner or later with either of the diets. And the amount of protein in both of them is pitiful, so you can say goodbye to any of your gains. But what if we created a much more balanced diet that had the same calorie deficit to allow for weight loss, but actively tried to include everything a healthy diet should have, like adequate protein to allow for better maintenance of muscle mass, a wide variety of foods including plenty of nutrient-dense fruit, vegetables, whole grains and legumes, providing a wide array of vitamins, minerals and fiber, and which allow for a greater volume of food and greater satiety. And after all those health-promoting foods have been included, why not use up some of the leftover calories to include some ice cream? Which brings us back to the ice cream. Why is it so important? Well, it is and it isn't. I've already mentioned that the biggest driver of weight loss is a calorie deficit, but the single most important factor for weight loss success is consistency, the ability to maintain a diet long term. You can lose weight on a multitude of different diets, but if you can't maintain that diet for whatever reason, you'll simply gain all the weight back again. That's why so many extreme or fad diets work so well initially. People lose a lot of weight due to the initial calorie deficit, but eventually give up because it's so strict and their food choices are so limited, and they finally end up in a gutter somewhere with chocolate all over their face, a half-eaten pizza slice in one hand and a jar of Nutella in the other. And nobody wants that. Neither Bobby number 1's nor Bobby number 2's test diets were sustainable. No matter how clean a food is supposed to be, I genuinely hate the word clean food, by the way. It's total. If you're stuck eating the same limited food every day, you'll get bored, feel restricted, and eventually give in to your cravings. However, if your diet is unrestricted in terms of what you can eat, provided you're including all the nutritious foods you need to stay healthy, and it allows you to enjoy some of your favorite foods in moderation, then that diet becomes much more sustainable in the long term. This is why flexible dieting approaches that allow people to eat a wide variety of foods have been shown to not only lead to an improved relationship with food, you don't fear certain foods because you think they'll cause you to gain weight, but also lead to more successful, sustainable diets long term. Like I said, Bobby number 1 loves ice cream. No matter how healthy or well balanced the diet I put him on, if Bobby can't stick to it because he can't eat some of his favorite foods and he's miserable all the time, then it's pointless. But if he can also have some of the foods he loves, ice cream or pizza, then his diet becomes a whole lot more sustainable. I'm by no means saying that you have to eat ice cream, nor am I saying that ice cream is an essential part of a healthy diet. I'm saying that if you want some, have some, especially if it helps you stick to a healthy eating plan overall and in the long run. Basically, you don't have to think of your diet in terms of black and white. It doesn't have to be all or nothing, clean or dirty, perfect or a failure. To live a sustainably healthy life, everything you consume doesn't need to be organic, vegan, whole grain, or made with unicorn tears. If eating a little of the foods you love makes your otherwise perfect diet more sustainable, then do it. And be happy knowing that the greater consistency you achieve in your diet is making you more successful than any fad diet in existence. I hope that helps you realize that you don't need to restrict yourself and be miserable when dieting. As always, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments below, and remember to like and subscribe to the Myprotein YouTube channel for more great evidence-based nutrition information.